What if your dog has been waiting their entire life for you to do one specific thing, and somehow, without even realizing it, you've been doing the exact opposite every single day? Not once, not occasionally, every day. And the hardest part? You thought you were doing everything right. Most dog owners believe they're giving their dog a great life. Food? Check. Walks? Check. Love? Of course. But there are things your dog quietly needs from you, things they've been trying to communicate without words that almost no one talks about. And the silence around these things, it slowly breaks something you can't see, the bond you think you already have. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you're not just going to learn something new, you're going to see your dog differently. Maybe for the first time. Welcome to PawMind Secrets. If you're new here, subscribe right now, because every week we break down what your dog is actually trying to tell you. And today's video, this is one of the most important ones we've ever made. Here's what makes this so difficult to hear. These aren't complicated things. They're not expensive, they're not time-consuming. They don't require training courses or special tools. And yet, if you keep getting them wrong, and most owners do without even realizing it, your dog starts to lose faith. Not loudly, not dramatically, but quietly. You'll see it in small ways. A tail that wags a little less, eyes that stop searching for yours, moments where they choose distance instead of closeness. And by the time most owners finally notice, years have already passed. So let's start with the first thing, the one your dog has been waiting for since the very beginning. 1. Give them a space they truly own. Has your dog ever crawled under the bed, wedged themselves behind the couch, or pressed into the corner of a room when things got loud or chaotic, and you pulled them out because you thought something was wrong? Most owners do. They see it as a problem, something to fix. But in that moment, your dog wasn't asking for help. They were asking for one thing, space, and you took it away. Dogs are descended from animals that use dens for survival, not occasionally, every single day. A den wasn't comfort, it wasn't optional. It was the difference between safety and exposure. That instinct didn't disappear when your dog started living in your home. It didn't disappear when they started sleeping on your couch. It's still there, running quietly in the background, every time they feel overwhelmed. Research has shown that dogs provided with a consistent enclosed resting space have lower cortisol levels. That's the hormone directly linked to stress. That's not a preference, that's a biological need. Now look around your home. Does your dog have a place that is truly theirs? A space where they can go without being followed, without being moved, without being disturbed? If the answer is no, then every stressful moment in your home becomes something they face alone. They're not being dramatic when they hide. They're not acting weird. They're doing exactly what their instincts are telling them to do. A crate with the door open, a bed in a quiet corner, a blanket under a table that smells like them. That's all it takes. And when a dog has that space, something changes. They stop disappearing. They stop withdrawing. They start choosing to stay. Because presence requires safety. And if this one made you think, stay with me, because the next one is something almost every owner does without realizing what it's doing to their dog. 2. Stop touching them when they didn't ask. Be honest, when your dog is lying on the floor and you walk past, do you reach down and pet them? When they're sitting quietly and you sit beside them, do your hands automatically go to their head? Of course they do. You love your dog. But from your dog's perspective, that moment feels very different. Dogs have something called personal space and autonomy, and it matters far more than most people realize. Every time you touch your dog without them asking for it, you're making a small deposit into something dangerous, something called learned helplessness. 1 or 2 times, no problem. but dozens of times a day, week after week, month after month, it teaches your dog something subtle but powerful. Your signals don't matter. My space isn't respected. What I feel doesn't change what happens. But when you stop, when you pause, when you wait for them to come to you, everything changes. Because dogs do ask, you just have to notice. A chin resting on your knee, a nose pushing under your hand, a slow walk towards you, ending with them leaning into your leg. Those are invitations. That's your dog choosing you. And when you respect that, the bond becomes real. Not forced, not one-sided, but mutual. 3. Get on the floor with them. When was the last time you sat on the floor with your dog? Not to clean something, not to grab their collar, not to check their paw, just to be there, at their level, with no reason. Think about your dog's world for a moment. You are enormous. From their perspective, you're a towering, fast-moving presence who controls everything: food, doors, schedules, attention. And every time you stand over them, even gently, even lovingly, part of their nervous system is still asking, is this safe? Dogs read body language instinctively. Height matters, posture matters, it always has. But the moment you lower yourself, everything changes. When you sit on the floor, when you remove that height difference, when you become still, your dog stops calculating, stops watching, stops bracing. Because now, you don't feel like something above them, you feel like someone beside them. Studies on dog-human interaction have shown something simple but powerful. Dogs approach humans faster and with more relaxed body language when those humans are sitting or crouched instead of standing, even if it's the same person. Try this, not tomorrow, today. Go into the room where your dog is, sit on the floor a few feet away, and do nothing. Don't call them, don't pat the ground, don't make a sound. Just exist at their level, in their space. And watch. Some dogs will look at you differently almost immediately. Some will slowly get up and walk towards you. Others won't move at all, but you'll see it in their body. A deeper relaxation, a softer breath. Because for the first time in a while, they don't feel like they have to monitor you. This matters even more if your dog is shy, anxious, a rescue, or easily startled. You can spend months trying to build trust with commands and treats, or sit on the floor for 10 minutes a day and let your presence do the work. Your dog has been waiting for you to come down into their world. Most people never do. Don't be most people. And stay with me, because what comes next is something almost every dog owner does every single day without realizing what it's costing. 4. Let them finish the sniff. How many times have you pulled your dog away from a smell? A patch of grass, a tree, a random spot on the sidewalk. How many times have you tightened the leash because you thought, come on, let's go? If you're like most owners, the answer is too many to count. And every one of those moments cost your dog something real. Because when your dog puts their nose to the ground, they're not wasting time, they're reading. A dog's nose has around 300 million scent receptors. You have about 6 million. The part of their brain used for smell, around 40 times more powerful than yours. So when they sniff, they're not just smelling, they're gathering information. Who was here, what they were feeling, if they were stressed or calm, if they've been here before. It's an entire world, unlocked in seconds. Now imagine this. You're reading a book, you're 2 pages away from the ending, and someone slams it shut. Every time, every day. That's what interrupting your dog's sniff feels like. Research has shown that dogs who are allowed to sniff freely during walks have lower stress levels afterwards. Not slightly lower, significantly lower. Because sniffing isn't just curiosity, it's emotional regulation. When you rush your dog through a walk, you're not just limiting exercise, you're removing one of the main ways they process the world. So what's the fix? Slow down. Choose a route where stopping is okay. Let your dog lead sometimes. Give them permission. Go sniff, and mean it. Because to you, it's just a walk, but to your dog, it's how they understand life. Stay with me, because what comes next is something almost every dog owner does every single day without realizing what it's costing. 5. Build a rhythm they can count on. Does your dog wait by the door right before you usually get home? Do they show up at feeding time more accurately than your alarm clock? That's not coincidence. That's your dog showing you something important. They rely
on patterns. Dogs don't experience time the way we do. Not in hours, not in minutes. They experience time in sequences, in routines, in expectations. This happens, then this, then this. And your dog builds their entire emotional world around those patterns. When those patterns stay consistent, back-end index pointing right, your dog feels safe. But when they break, even slightly, even temporarily, something shifts. Because now, there's uncertainty, and uncertainty creates stress. Studies have shown that unpredictable routines are one of the biggest contributors to anxiety in dogs, even more than lack of training in some cases. And here's the part most owners miss. The disruptions don't have to be big. Feeding times changing by an hour, skipping play for a few days, coming home at random times every night. To you, that's normal life. To your dog, back-end index pointing right, the one thing they trusted just became unpredictable. So what's the solution? Not perfection, consistency. Feed them around the same time. Create small routines they can expect. Even something simple, like sitting in the same place every evening. Because when your dog knows what's coming next, back-end index pointing right, their body relaxes. And a relaxed dog is a connected dog. One more thing. And this last one is the one that hits the hardest, because you've had the chance to do it every single day, and no one ever told you it mattered this much. Asterisk 6. Talk to them. Out loud. For real. Asterisk asterisk. Do you talk to your dog? Not commands. Not sit or stay. Real conversation. If you do, you're already doing something powerful. If you don't, start. Because dogs didn't just learn to live with humans. They evolved to understand us, our faces, our emotions, our tone, and most importantly, backhand index pointing right, our voice. Your dog isn't just hearing sounds. They're processing meaning, emotion, intent. They know when you're talking to them, even if the words are simple, even if no one else is around. So talk. Tell them good morning. Tell them about your day. Talk to them in the car, on walks, when you come home tired. Because every time you do, you're doing something deeper than communication. Backhand index pointing right, you're including them. You're treating them like what they truly are. Not just a pet, but a being who has built their entire world around you. And when a dog feels that, when they feel seen, heard, included, something opens inside them. A level of connection most owners spend years trying to reach. But connection isn't something you wait for. Backhand index pointing right, it's something you build. Moment by moment, choice by choice. Your dog isn't asking for perfection. They're asking for you, the real you, the one who slows down, who notices, who listens, who finally understands. They've been waiting their whole life. If this changed how you see your dog, share it with someone who loves their dog, but doesn't know this yet. And subscribe to PawMind Secrets, because every week we go deeper into your dog's world, so you can finally meet them there. See you in the next video.